Hi guys, so we are now at the spot where we write a simple conditional statement. Now it is important that we understand, how to, create a metaphor for what a conditional statement is. Now, a conditional statement allows the code you write, to move into different directions, right? It could be 2 directions, it could be 3 directions. But the bottom line is one of those directions you are confirming a truth or a false. Now, say for instance, you want to sign into your social media account. You're going to put in your username and password. The fact that you get to use that account to perform different activities means the username and password evaluated as true. See that? So these things happen every time. You try to sign into your email account and you try to log in and use your email to see if you've got mail. That page opens, the account opens because it evaluates as true after looking at the code or the username and password you have created. So that's basically what we have going on in terms of conditional statements. So let's create a metaphor here. Say you are watching my YouTube channel. So let's call this watching _ my channel. So you're watching my channel and that is true, right? Now what this means is when we write a conditional statement, which, remember what a conditional statement is, let's just scroll back up a little bit. You see that? If, elif, and else, right? Now, so we're going to start off with an if. Now, if you're going to be watching this channel, right, we are going to have stuff now. If an if statement, right, an if statement will execute if the condition is true. So which is the condition is you're watching my channel, you're watching my YouTube channel. It will execute if it's true, right? So again, before we write an if statement, we have to check out a few, expression. It's like a syntax, like the body of the work, right? So first off, we're going to have an if statement, right? So that's the if statement you're looking at there. And it is going to be followed by an expression. Then there's going to be a colon. You see this colon? This colon is going to bring about something called an indentation. So basically, right, if this happens, you're going to see something like this. It's going to be like in a block of code. It's going to be an indentation. So here you have an indentation, right? So basically an indentation makes a line of code, fall in place uniformly, right? So with an indentation, Python will figure out where a code starts and where it ends, right? So that's what happens. So again, there's an if statement, and if this expression is true, it will evaluate. So whatever is here, right? Whatever is here, it does something. So let's go. So now we're setting that watching my YouTube channel is true. That's what you're doing. Now, so we could say stuff that if you are actually watching my YouTube channel, so you see the if, right? So I'll say if watching my YouTube channel, right? Print you are learning Python. Yep. Right. So if this is true, right? So let's come over here. So let's call this a simple conditional statement. Right. So if you're watching my channel, it's going to print this out. So, and see what happens. Yes, because it's true. You're learning Python. So that's basically how that works. So that's what you're looking at is an if statement at play. Now, remember, if statement will evaluate if the condition is true, right? Let's come down here a bit, and no, let's leave here. Let's come over here. Then let's talk about an else statement. Now, this will evaluate if it is false, right? So this is more or less like, remember when we talked about the fact that we could go in different directions? This is one of it. Now, if we have a situation where we are dealing with a statement that is false, so you see, let me now create a false statement. Say, so let me call this yelling is good. So let's just say yelling is underscore good, which is false, right? So now we've created this. So that means with an else statement, this will evaluate, right? So remember, if we put this and if it's false, then it's going to evaluate. Now, or rather, it's the else statement will work. So, but again, just so we can make this make sense, let's put a situation where we say watching is false, right? So let's scrap this. Let's scrap this because I was trying to make something up from my head. But you just imagine where I now change this here and now make this false and say this is false, right? So here I'm going to now write, and I'm going to run this, and I'll say if watching my channel, right, then I will print this. You're learning Python, right? So you see, we'll print this over here. Then we now write else, which is now we're going to have a branch, something that's just going to branch out differently. Print you are on the wrong channel. So you see, right? So if I run this, you're on the wrong channel. So you see what's happening. Now we now have a situation where we can see if something is true, it evaluates. See how this happens? Boom, and this evaluates. But if we have something like this, then else works. You see that? So simple conditional statement, if and else, right? So I'm sure you're thinking, oh, so what about the elif? We are going to talk about that later, right? So again, a recap, simple conditional statement gives us that ability to ask questions from our programs and then expect a certain response, right? It's a flow control, like we mentioned, right? Which is like an example where we're trying to make use of, say, our email account, and we put in the right login details and we're good. And if statement evaluates if it's true, and else will evaluate if it's false. Simple.